And there we are. We are being live streamed. Got it? Got it.
Got it.
It's so funny that I'm wearing this bad weather t-shirt, even though for once it's not bad weather here in the Twin Cities or in the whole state. Actually, we're having such a beautiful day today.
Yes.
Which is why I have my windows open. Anyway, this is Next Level from Level with Emily. I'm the host, Emily. And I'm here with producer Sam Keenan, and we like to get together once a week and just talk about the upcoming episode after we've both had some time to spend with it, as it were.
Yeah.
After the interview and after I do an edit, and then you hang out with it for, I don't even know how long that it takes you to mix them. I'm sure it all depends on what fuckery I've done with it before I send it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, so that's why we're here chatting today. We're going to talk about this week's upcoming show, which is not a composer. So that's always fun. But yeah, a fella named Logan Tucker from Virginia, and he goes by the name Biggoron in the remixing community. So he is a cover artist, remixer, and I kind of stumbled across him a few weeks ago. And here we are. Had a great conversation with him. And what do you think of his covers so far?
It's been really fun stuff. Really, really great sounding stuff.
Yeah, doesn't it sound good?
It sounds really good. Like really well balanced, and everything is super clear, and it sounds so nice. And just big. Sounds big and good. Yeah. It's very rich sound, which is cool. It's that's a whole obviously skill unto itself, and people who do remixes and covers and stuff kind of have to be particularly good at that, I think.
Yeah. I love how he's like, first of all, he's only been doing this for a year. So the fact that, I mean, normally we have maybe not seasoned veterans, but we have people on, I don't know. And so I was like, wait, what? Wait, how is it only been a year? I didn't even pay attention to that part of when I was like looking into him and whatnot. Because sometimes it can be hard to find information out about a remixer since it's not their day job usually. So I wasn't really bothered by the fact that I couldn't find that much out about him. That just didn't even really pop into my radar that might symbolize that he'd not been doing this for very long. But I also love how, with regards to what you were saying about how good his music sounded, he's like, yeah, I just looked stuff up and learned, and now everybody comes to me to ask them to mix their stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, like I've been working with audio professionally since 2005. That's 20, how many years? 18 years?
Yeah, 2018
Clearly
years.
Not a mathematician. Yeah, 2018 years. But my point being, like, he just picked all that up. It just blows my mind. But
yeah, I mean, it's as somebody who's done a ton of mixing and stuff like that, I'm curious as to like all of the tricks that he uses and stuff, because
I know
you can look things up.
Right.
But it's a very, very complicated web of things that happens in a mix, and to get it sounding that banging is not easy. I don't know if part of it is just because it's just really clean digital sources and stuff, and then he just knows how to balance it just right with all the EQing. But but yeah, a lot of times people throw, you take a bunch of good sounding instruments, you put them all together, and it sounds like mush, because it all just blends together in a very bad sounding way, because you get all these bumps of frequencies and stuff that just make it all muddy and crappy, or you get a bunch of competing synthesizers that are all in the same range that just turn into a wash. But it's just very clear and good.
Totally blew my mind. And he's like, I think he's mentioned that a couple different times, that all the software he uses is free. Like he just finds like really good free plugins and whatever it is he's using to make these mixes happen. So, and I mean, I guess, yeah, for sure, it makes sense that there would be good free tools out there in that world, because it's a very supportive community. First of all, the audio world, like everybody wants everybody's shit to sound good. And so it's like not that, but just that, again, that he took the time to figure it all out, and whatever he's doing is working. It's cool. Yeah. So I thought it'd be, oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it also just, it takes a good ear too, to be able to do that sort of stuff. Cause you even if you learn all the rules and all the tricks, it's like, you got to be able to hear when it's good and when it's bad, which is a listening thing, you know?
Right. But yeah, exactly.
Anyway, you were moving on.
First of all, I want to make sure we say hi to Sacha and whoever else is joining us. Feel free to ask questions. We're talking about Biggoron, and he's a remixer / cover artist. I never really know which they prefer or if there is a preference, so I chose to call him both. And I stumbled across him a few weeks ago, so like been a month ago maybe, and really just loved his style and his sound. So one of the tunes that I really like that he's got up on Bandcamp is a mashup between a Chrono Cross tune and a Donkey Kong tune. And both of those soundtracks, I think, from Yasunori Mitsuda. I should have looked that up. But in any event, they're very similar sounding tracks. And he noticed that, and he's like, well, I'm going to mash these up together. So let's listen to his version first. We'll listen to some of it. And so this is his, he calls it Chrono Kong, which is cute. So this is a track from Mario Party and Chrono Cross. Now, they are doing construction outside, and I just had to disable noise suppression. So hopefully this will work okay. Those monkey sounds are Joe on his tenor, which is really funny. Joe Newman, the tenor player. And we're going to have him on, I think, hopefully. I've got an interview scheduled with him, so. Actually, that sounds like a Barry sax. I don't know. But in any event, that's a little bit of that. And so do you want to hear some of the originals, what he put it up with, you know what I mean, what he mashed up?
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to remember him. I know I've heard him before in my life, but it's been a while.
Sure. Yeah. Well, here's the let me make sure the volume's up all the way. Oops. So here's the Jungle Adventure track from Mario Party, Donkey Kong's Jungle Adventure.
Got more of a salt and pepper groove.
Yeah. So that's how the Donkey Kong part goes, or the Mario Party part.
Yeah, that's interesting. They're in ways more similar than I was expecting, but
well,
yeah,
that was all. Yeah, well, that's because I didn't even get to the Chrono Cross part.
Okay.
The Chrono Cross part. So let's listen to this is Back to Biggoron's cover.
Okay.
Featuring Joe on the saxophone. So we're back to Biggoron now. All right, so let's listen to a little bit of the Chrono Cross part now. You want to hear the Chrono Cross, okay. The original Chrono Cross.
The original Chrono Cross, yeah.
The original Chrono Cross. It's got that same dirty shuffle, which I love. I love me a dirty shuffle. Oh, sorry. That was a terrible mistake. Terrible mistake. Sorry, we're back on track.
Makes sense to have the idea to put those together, you know, like after hearing the originals.
Isn't that great though?
That is great. Yeah.
I love how he even found that. I mean, this is his era, Nintendo 64. So he's just loved that era. That was like his prime age of gaming, and so he knows these melodies as one does from that era well enough to make that connection, I think. But I loved it. I thought that was so cool. And plus, I just loved the arrangement that he did, the mix of it. I loved the cover he made. Did you have any tracks in particular? Because I can play more.
I didn't pick out any ones in particular, no. But if you've got any other ideas, I thought they were all pretty fun. And there's like a lightheartedness to all the kind of arrangements and even the mixes themselves that I really appreciate too. It's just, you know, just feels fun.
Here's one from and the story of him, I don't want to spoil it, of how he stumbled across this track, but this is from a SimCity game that did not make it to the US. So here's they call it The Right Stuff. I think there are several melodies in here, but we'll just listen to a little bit of the beginning. This is from SimCity 64. Just sounds good.
I always think of that whatever that song is.
Yeah.
At the beginning of that.
Yes.
Sounds like that song.
Can't think of it. You'll think of it. Do you need me to halt the music for a moment while you think of it?
It's won't you forget about me?
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah, it
dancing, is. You know.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Wait, who is that? In Excess?
No, it's not In Excess. It's some. Wasn't that like
that?
a one-hit wonder? Well, we have the internet at our fucking disposal, man.
Yeah.
Although I don't even know the name of it, but it's from the Breakfast Club, or that's where
right.
I'm looking it up right now. Simple Minds.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway.
Anyway, go. Yeah.
Continue. The thing that about this one, those drums are not real. Like, and I'm just like, how did they sound so real to me? I mean, but yeah, they're not real. He has some other remixers with him on that track. One from Brazil and the other is from somewhere else, like crazy. So yeah, that's really fun. But I just loved his whole catalog, and he doesn't put a price on any of his music because he doesn't get the rights for it. Because it's such a complicated, complex thing to do. And unless you have the time for it, or you have like an affinity for that kind of paperwork, not to say he doesn't have those things, but he just doesn't want to bother with it. And so it's like a name your price thing on Bandcamp. So
it's probably the kind of thing where if it took off and started making tons of money, then it would be worth spending the time to figure all that stuff out. But that's a nightmare right.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a little bit about Logan Tucker. He lives in Virginia, goes to MagFest out there and stuff often, and I'll let him tell his story on Friday, but it was just a pleasure to get to know him a little bit and hear his stuff. Super fun fella.
Yeah.
So,
it's just kind of fun. We just turned this episode around pretty fast, and
oh my God, so fast,
we were just talking about it's a little bit of a blur, but it's a cool one, who was last time?
Lennie Moore.
Oh, Lennie Moore. Oh,
Your brain is
with his
still exhausted from that 2-hour edit.
Probably. Exactly.
That was a long one, but so worth every minute. I loved it.
Right. I was just remembering that it's been a couple of weeks since we've had a straight up composer, which is kind of interesting.
Lennie, yes, is a composer, but
of a video game score is the end of that sentence.
Next week will be Peter Chapman, who we're mostly talking with about a Canadian sitcom he produced, or he's the composer for, called Workin' Moms. And so he also was the Guacamelee composer, and he's done other games too. He did like Little Big Planet karting, and he's done some other things, but he did Guacamelee 1 and 2, which is probably most well known to our friends at Level, just because it's a great indie platformer. It's got co-op, which is super fun. I played it with Holly a bunch, and so he did the music for that too. So we do talk about games and things along those lines, but a lot of our talk is about that show. So it's been an interesting few weeks, and we do have a lot of other remixers on the way and cover artists and musicians in that way. So
and remixing is such a huge thing, and it's such a fun thing, and people doing mashups and remixes. I love that, because like it's kind of like when there's like a really great singer, and that singer, like in my opinion, doesn't need to learn how to write their own songs. They can find a composer to write the song so that they can do their thing, and I think that's good with remixers sometimes, is when they bring their style and they don't try to write something brand new. It's just a different little bit of a different art.
And it's the whole idea of like adding to something, or not necessarily improving it, but just changing it. Ed Sheeran. No, I'm just kidding. That's the whole case right now, which is ridiculous. But it's been fun to dig into that world, and just thinking about what the remix world was like, a decade ago or even 20 years ago. Well, the other cool thing that he talks about, and then we're going to wrap up, because I've got food that I picked up an hour ago that's just been sitting there since I got home, so I'm going to go eat that. But one of the things that he talked about was this Dwelling of Duels website. Are you familiar? I mean, I embarrassingly was unfamiliar with this site, which is crazy because they're celebrating 20 years this year. So my assumption is that I've been told about it and maybe didn't remember, but it's a monthly composition contest for video game covers. And so it's a cover contest. It's not a
not right.
And they have a theme each month, and you submit your track anonymously, and the community votes on it. And they have a listening party at the end of the month, and whoever wins. And that's what has started this for him, is that he finally made an entry, and he had so much fun that he's been doing it every month. And
Mm-hmm.
and it made me think of you because that sounds like right up your alley for something that you would enjoy doing. But anyway, so we talk a lot about Dwelling of Duels as well, which is of interest to, budding composers or just cover artists or whatever. It was fun to talk to him about that. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that is neat. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of people who like our show would also be interested in that as well. So that's
well, and plus they've archived every song on there for 20 years. So there's like thousands.
Wow.
Like OC Remix, right? But it's just a whole different, it's a different, yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks for stopping by, and we're going to call it there. We should be here at the normal time next week, I believe. I say that without looking at my schedule, so who the hell knows what's going to happen. But that's the plan, is to be here next week at our normal time, which is 3 Central Time. So, all right. Link for Discord is down in the show notes. We can continue the conversation there, and subscribe to this channel. We'd love you for it. And find us on Patreon and wherever you get your podcasts. All right, that's all I got. Sam Keenan, have a good evening.
You too. See ya, and bye, Sasha.
Bye, Sasha. Ooh, Thai food. Pad Thai from my favorite Thai place in St. Paul, which I have not had in ages, like months and months. So it was that kind of day.
Sweet.
I was like,